Every story is a door. You came here because there's a door calling your name. The orb sees everything. It knows what you need. It has chosen. I only retell. Real or fiction? I won't say. You only need to find meaning for yourself. Listen. The orb glows tonight with a question. Have you ever faced a moment when doing what is right means losing everything? Have you ever held power in your hands, the power to destroy, and chose mercy instead? Tonight, the orb reveals a story from the shadows of war. A story about a pilot, a Christmas Eve, and a decision that echoed through generations. December 24th, 1944. World War II. A young American pilot named Robert received an order: drop bombs on a German village. Simple. No one would know. No one would judge. But what Robert saw through his bomb sight changed his life forever. Come closer. Listen carefully. For this story will ask you a question that only you can answer. Robert was 24 years old. A pilot of a B-17 bomber, the Flying Fortress. He had already flown 47 missions over enemy territory. 47 times he returned when others did not. War had changed him. The boy who once dreamed of flying among clouds now flew through fire and steel. On that Christmas Eve, the air base was quiet. Most soldiers were thinking of home, of families they might never see again. But the war does not rest, not even for Christmas. Robert received his orders. A military target near a small German village. Fly at night. Drop the bombs. Return to base. The colonel said the words coldly. Military necessity. Robert did not ask questions. Soldiers do not ask questions. They follow orders. He walked to his plane through the cold December air. His crew waited in silence. They all knew tonight was different. But none of them knew how different it would truly be. The engines roared to life. The Flying Fortress lifted into the darkness. Below, the English countryside disappeared into shadow. Above, only stars and the cold December moon. Robert flew in silence. His crew spoke only when necessary. The radio crackled with distant voices, other pilots, other missions. 2 hours passed. Then, the coast of Germany appeared below. They flew low to avoid detection. Lower than usual. The wind howled against the metal body of the plane. Robert checked his instruments. The village was close now. Through the darkness, he saw it. A small cluster of lights. A church steeple rising above the houses. He reached for his bomb sight and looked down. What he saw stopped his heart. The church doors were open. Candlelight spilled out into the snow. And there, walking out of the church, were children. Families. Mothers holding hands of their little ones. Fathers carrying babies. Old grandmothers wrapped in shawls. They had just finished Christmas Eve Mass. Robert stared through the bomb sight, his finger frozen on the release. Then he saw her. A little girl, no more than 5 years old. Blonde braids. A small coat. She was looking up directly at his plane. And she waved. A child's wave. Innocent. Unknowing. As if she were greeting a bird or a falling star. Robert's hands began to tremble. He knew there might be a military target nearby. His orders were clear. The bombs were ready. But those children were real. His co-pilot spoke. "Robert, we are over the target." Silence. "Robert, the order. We must complete the mission." Still, Robert said nothing. His eyes fixed on the little girl below, who was still waving. In that moment, Robert understood something profound. Orders come from men. But conscience comes from something higher. He closed his eyes. He made his choice. His voice cut through the radio static. Abort mission. All aircraft return to base. His crew stared at him in disbelief. But no one argued. They turned the plane around and flew back through the night. When Robert landed, the military police were waiting. He was arrested before he could remove his flight jacket. The charges: disobedience, cowardice, treason. The punishment could be death. 3 days later, Robert stood before the military tribunal. Officers in pressed uniforms. Cold eyes. Cold voices. They asked him, "Why did you abandon your mission?" Robert stood straight. His voice did not waver. Those children were not wearing uniforms. The room fell silent. The prosecutor demanded execution. He called Robert a traitor, a danger to every soldier fighting for freedom. Then an old general rose from his seat. His chest was covered with medals from another war. His voice was quiet, but it filled the room. He said, "There is a courage higher than following orders. It is the courage of conscience." The tribunal deliberated for 1 hour. Their verdict: Robert would live, but he would be discharged from the military in disgrace. His career destroyed. His honor stripped away. Robert walked out of the courtroom, a free man, with nothing left to his name. Or so he thought. 50 years passed. Robert grew old. He married. He had children. He never spoke about that Christmas Eve. The world forgot about the pilot who refused to drop the bombs. But one morning in 1994, a letter arrived from Germany. The handwriting was careful. The paper smelled of distant lands. It was from a woman named Anna, 55 years old. Robert read her words slowly. She wrote, "I am the little girl who waved at your plane that night. My mother told me this story my entire life. She said an angel flew over our village on Christmas Eve and chose not to take our souls." Robert's hands trembled, just as they had 50 years before. Anna continued, "I want you to know what happened because you chose mercy. From our small village, 3 doctors were born. 2 teachers. 1 author who wrote books about peace. And 47 more children born to the families you saved that night." Robert put down the letter. Tears fell onto the paper. One decision on one cold Christmas night had created 10,000 lives. 10,000 lives he would never know. People often say, "I had no choice. I was just following orders." But Robert had a choice. And he chose what was right, even when the price was everything. Today, you may never need to decide whether to drop a bomb. But every day, you make small choices. Will you speak the truth when it is easier to lie? Will you protect someone weaker when no one is watching? Will you refuse to do wrong, even when everyone else is doing it? These small decisions ripple outward through time. They create 10,000 lives that you will never see. The question is simple, yet it is the hardest question of all. When you must choose between what is easy and what is right, what will you choose? Think about it until we meet again. Next time, the orb will reveal another tale. A king in ancient India who gave up his entire kingdom to answer just one question. Until then, may your choices create light.